Happy Halloween, ghouls! Welcome to the spookiest night of the year here in the Yarn Dungeon. Cheers to that. I have a little pumpkin tea latte going on today. Like, that's what I've been drinking all morning. We're going to continue on to the evening as we finish up our 31 night countdown to Halloween, to today, that we were working on with Fangirl Fibers. So either you got the box of the Gothic Whimsy and it had a little bag for every single day. It had this cute little Gothic pattern all throughout it. Open up one of these, you saw the color that it went with, or you crocheted along with me working with yarn through your stash, either matching the color very closely to what I had or just completely going your own direction, kind of putting everything together that way. I just want to say a huge thank you for joining me. I know that these are a big commitment. I mean, it's 31 days. It's the spookiest month of the year. There's a lot of things going on. I mean, it's very easy for every single night to be super packed. So the fact that you decided to crochet along with me every single day, I appreciate it so much. And obviously these would not be as fun if you weren't crocheting with me. Like, that's a crochet along. It's just, I want to see what you're working on as well, because we all have our own creative touch into every single piece, even though we are doing the same thing. So we have the granny squares, we have the appliques, we had 3 different versions of the appliques, but everyone has their own little take on it, and I loved seeing that. So thank you so much again for tagging me and all of that. If you want to tag your completed project tonight, definitely on Instagram. We have a couple of different hashtags going on. You can use the hashtag altknots ghoul squad. You could just use altknots. It doesn't really matter. Either way, I'm going to see it, and I would love to see your variation of everything that you put together. At this moment in time, we should have 30 granny squares and 30 appliques, 3 different variations of the appliques, so 10 appliques in each bunch. And if you followed me, I ended up putting them together in packs of 10. So at the end of 10 days in October, I attached the cup of spirits. I attached that onto my granny square, set that aside in a nice little stack, and then moved on to the next 10. Like, there was a lot of moving parts going on today, so that's just the route that I took. Having said that, my crochet alongs are super relaxed. Like, if you are here chit-chatting with me in the Yarn Dungeon and you're like, I only have X amount of granny squares done, don't even worry about it. Like, seriously, just work on it on your own pace. The fact that you decided to join is just amazing enough, and you should be proud of yourself. Like, seriously, wherever you are, be proud of yourself and be happy with what you created. If you are ready to assemble everything all together, we have 3 different rows. So we'll have 10 granny squares on the top, 10 in the middle, and then 10 on the bottom. I am attaching them together with all of the little pieces that we had left throughout every single day. So this is why I was saying, like, if you have any sort of color left from that night, hold on to it, put it in a little skeleton bowl here. Don't get rid of it, because we are going to use it to attach every single piece. So you're going to need to grab a yarn needle, and I like using these ones, not the sharp kind, but the nice and dull one that has a pretty big opening there. I mean, this is DK weight yarn, so it doesn't need to be super big, but in order for me to get in a rhythm and everything, that's just the combination that I like the best. When choosing the colors for attaching every single square, go with polar opposite colors. So, like, nothing that looks really, really close, or like, you know, if there's a shade of pink, we have a little mauve, and then we have magenta. Don't put those together. You want contrasting colors next to each other. Even though I used a mattress stitch to seam everything together, which I do have a full tutorial of that if you need a little refresher on the mattress stitch. So at the end, when you cinch it nice and tight and it does that mattress stitch magic, pulls everything nice together, super even, we still want to see that color. And if you use contrasting colors, you're definitely going to see a little bit of it. The more important part is that you want the contrasting colors because of the ends that we're going to tie together. Every time you cut a little strand, make sure you're cutting it a lot longer than you're really going to need, because we're seaming everything together and then we're also tying like twice all of the ends together. But it's a good thing, because it means that we don't really have any ends to weave in. Every single end that is prominent on here is going to be displayed. It's going to be showcased. So you want those colors to be kind of playing around with each other. I left about 3 to 4 inches on either side of the square, just to be on the safe side to tie everything together at the end. You'd rather it be a little bit longer than too short, and then you can't quite get it and they're kind of slipping around. It makes it difficult. We don't want that, especially not tonight on Halloween. We want this part to be as easy as possible. Also, I am watching so many movies tonight, so please shout out what you are watching as you're assembling this. If you ended up getting the Finger Fibers Gothic Whimsy box, you will notice that we do actually have a bag to open up tonight. This is not going to be made into a granny square or an applique. It is simply going to be used to attach everything together or add the tassels onto it. It's extra yarn here in case you need it. I know that some people are saying that their squares ended up being a little bit bigger than mine. Then you're not going to have this much yarn left over. Here's a little extra to go ahead and help you out there. Also, if you want to add thicker tassels, so I ended up doing just 3 strands of yarn, holding those together, and that is what I did all around the border. We have the inside, and then we also have the border here. If you want them to be a little fuller though, you can go ahead and use this yarn and maybe cut 4 or 5 strands together, hold them that way. Maybe you want the corners to be a little fuller, and then the rest of them just have 3 strands of color together. Like, honestly, play around with this, make it your own. This is the fun and exciting part, because after this, it is done and we can use it and display it and show it off. Once everything is all seamed together, we have a couple of different routes that we can go in order to finish this piece. The first one is what I was just chit-chatting about, where it's just tassel explosion everywhere. Not only is it where every granny square corner meets, but we also have it on the side, the top, the bottom. Basically, it's just this nice little picture frame of tassels for all of the granny squares. If you opted for the additional hank of yarn with this entire box, before we put the tassels on, starting at one corner, we're gonna do a half double crochet in every single stitch all the way around. So half double crochet in each stitch on here. Once you get to this corner piece, we're gonna put 3 half double crochet inside there, and then continue on 1 half double crochet all the way around. So basically we have 3 different options. You can do like I did and have just the tassels as the border. You can use this extra hank and do the half double crochet all around it. Or the third option, you can do both of them. So half double crochet all around it, and then go ahead and grab all your spare pieces and attach the tassels onto it. A lot of different options, but really it's whatever you want and whatever feels right. So for my couch and how I'm gonna have this set up, I just really loved the idea of tassels just kind of being the statement piece of it, which is odd because I'm not normally a tassel ghoulie. Like, I don't normally enjoy making them. So I don't know what it was, but I'm not gonna fight it. I was just feeling it. I love it, and I still, just looking at it right now, feel like it was the right direction, and I'm very happy that I went that way. Make it your own and choose which border works best for you. Once that is completely done, you are going to want to block this project. We just have a lot of moving parts. Not only do we have the granny square, we have the applique on top of the granny square, the mattress stitch, so we have 2 parts that kind of got cinched together. We need to just relax everything. I like to make things as easy as possible. This is just a traveling steamer. In order to do this entire project, I had to refill this 3 different times. Every single square needed a little extra love and attention, but now that it's been blocked, it just looks so much better. I mean, blocking, if you've never done it before, again, it just relaxes everything. The squares lay evenly, the corners are nice and crisp. It's just gonna elevate your project. Once it's been blocked and it's dried, that is officially it for this crochet along. The only thing left to do is talk about this as often as you can, showcase it as soon as anybody walks by it and they're like, oh, that's nice, did you make that? Yes, I did. Would you like to hear about it? That's what conversation pieces are for. And the fact that there's a lot of things going on with this, not only is there a lot of different colors happening, there's a ton of different appliques, like it's a lot of chaotic Halloween in the best way possible. So I really hope that you enjoyed this crochet along because I had so much fun creating it. I hope it's a piece for you that either you keep it out all year long or you go ahead and cycle it through with your themes, and when you pull it out next year for decor, it just brings back all of these amazing memories from October 2024. Again, I need to say thank you for joining me in this crochet along, and thank you to Fangirl Fibers for putting together this incredible box. If there was one color that jumped out to you the most, shout that. I mean, there were a couple that really shook me when I saw them. I'm like, okay, like that one, I don't know why, but I was not expecting that intensity of pink. So there are just so many squares on here that I can remember the exact day that I unboxed them, I worked them up, and put them together. It's really just a fun collage of October, which I had the absolute best month, and I really sincerely hope that you had a super spooky month as well. You know that we are never done celebrating Halloween here in the Yarn Dungeon. This is just an extra special day, so whatever it is you're doing, whatever you're working on, I hope that you have a super spooky day. Enjoy every single moment. Thank you again for joining me in this crochet along, and I will see you ghouls in my next video.